I am Aligar Lingappa, Assistant Professor, Government Postgrad College, Sirugappa. Now I am discussing about derivation of moment of inertia of a disk under the chapter Rigid Bodies. Yesterday we have discussed about the moment of inertia of a uniform thin rod and then the moment of inertia of annular ring. So, what is moment of inertia? Already we know that the concept of moment of inertia, I is equal to mr square. It is a product of mass of a particle and the square of distance between the particle and the axis of rotation. So, derivation of moment of inertia of a disk. In order to explain how to calculate the moment of inertia of a disk, we will take the example of uniform thin disk which is rotating about an axis through its center. Just you see that there are three axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Say x-axis, y-axis and then z-axis. So let R be the radius of the circular disk, where z-axis is perpendicular to plane of the disk, where x and y they lie in the plane of a disk. Just to see the diagram. In the figure we can see a uniform thin disk with a radius r rotating about a z-axis, passing through the center, just the axis perpendicular to plane of the disk. As we have a thin disk, the mass is distributed all over the x and y plane. Then we move on to establishing the relation for surface mass density, so-called sigma, where it is defined as or said to be the mass per unit surface area. Since the disk is uniform, therefore the surface mass density will also be constant. We know that volume density, surface density and then linear density. Volume density mass by volume, surface density mass by area, linear density mass by length. So here sigma is equal to m by a, mass by area, that gives the surface density. Then by cross multiplication we will get sigma a is equal to m. So assuming that where the disk is made up of large number of annular rings from 0 to R, from center to the end of the disk. Then consider one such disk. Let dm be the mass of a elementary disk and sigma into dA surface area. Now it is time for the simplification of the area where it can be assumed the area to be made up of a collection of rings that are mostly thin in nature. The thin rings are said to be the mass increment of radius r, which are at equal distance from the axis. The small area dA of every ring is further expressed by the length 2 pi r times the small width of the rings dr. So it is given by A is equal to pi r square. The area which is equal to pi r square. Then a dA is equal to d pi r square, that means for small area, which is equal to pi dr square, then a 2r dr, differentiation of r square, that becomes so called 2r dr. Now we add all the rings from the radius range of 0 to r, where capital R that indicates, I think, a radius of the disk, smaller that indicates a radius of elementary section. To get the full area of the disk, the radius range that is given is the value that is used in the integration of dr. If we put all these together, then we get I is equal to integration of r square sigma pi r into dr with the limit 0 to capital R. Then I is equal to 2 pi sigma, then integration of r cube into dr with the limits 0 to r. Then I is equal to 2 pi sigma r to the 4 of 4 by 4. The integration of r cube, that gives r to the 4 of 4 by 4 with the limit 0 to r. Then I is equal to 2 pi sigma, applying upper limit, then the minus of lower limit, r square by 4 minus 0. Then further, I is equal to 2 pi m by a into r square by 4, where sigma which can be replaced by m by a, mass by area. Then I is equal to 2 pi m, where a which can be replaced by pi r square into r square by 4. Then after simplification we will get I is equal to of m r square. This expression clearly proves all that we have discussed so far. The momentum, this is the expression for the moment of inertia of a disk about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to its plane. So I is equal to of m r square. Moment of inertia, a disk about an end diameter. Then what about the moment of inertia? The moment of inertia of a thin circular disk is the same as that of for a solid cylinder of any length. But it deserves specially consideration because it is often used as an element for building up the moment of inertia expression for other geometries, such as the sphere or the cylinder about an end diameter. The moment of inertia about a diameter is the classic example of the perpendicular axis theorem for a planar object. So just as the what about the moment of inertia of a axis passing through its diameter? So maybe moment of inertia about an x-axis or by y-axis. Then Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy, applying perpendicular axis theorem. The moment of inertia of a body about an axis must be equal to the sum of moment of inertia of a body about two axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the axis and lies in the plane of a body. So Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. If suppose Ix plus Iy, we know that Iz is equal to half mr square, then Ix is equal to Iy is equal to 1 by 4 mr square. So the moment of inertia of a disk about an axis passing through its diameter. Then moment of inertia of a disk about a tangent. So moment of inertia about a diameter. So half into half mr square, which is equal to 1 by 4 mr square. So that, then what about the